Amazing healthy benefits of quinoa. Quinoa is one of the world's most mainstream well-being nourishments. Quinoa is sans gluten, high in protein and one of only a handful not many plant nourishments that contain adequate measures of each of the 9 basic amino acids. It is additionally high in fiber, magnesium, B nutrients, iron, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, nutrient E and different helpful cell reinforcements. Here are 11 medical advantages of quinoa. 1. Exceptionally nutritious. Quinoa is a grain crop that is developed for its eatable seeds. It's articulated quinoa. It actually is certifiably not an oat grain, yet a pseudo-oat. As such, it is essentially a seed, which is arranged and eaten correspondingly to a grain. Quinoa was a significant harvest for the Inca Empire. They alluded to it as the mother everything being equal, and trusted it to be hallowed. It has been eaten for a large number of years in South America and as of late turned into a pattern food, in any event, coming to superfood status. Nowadays, you can discover quinoa and quinoa items everywhere on over the world, particularly in well-being food stores and eateries that underline regular nourishments. There are 3 primary sorts: white, red and dark. This is the supplement content in 1 cup 185 grams of cooked quinoa. Protein, 8 grams. Fiber, 5 grams. Manganese, 58% of the suggested everyday remittance, RDA. Magnesium, 30% of the RDA. Phosphorus, 28% of the RDA. Folate, 19% of the RDA. Copper, 18% of the RDA. Iron, 15% of the RDA. Zinc, 13% of the RDA. Potassium 9% of the RDA. Over 10% of the RDA for nutrients B1, B2 and B6. Limited quantities of calcium, B3, niacin, and nutrient E. This accompanies a sum of 222 calories, with 39 grams of carbs and 4 grams of fat. It likewise contains a limited quantity of omega-3 unsaturated fats. Quinoa is non-GMO, without gluten and generally developed naturally. Despite the fact that actually not an oat grain, it despite everything considers an entire grain food. NASA researchers have been taking a gander at it as an appropriate harvest to be developed in space, generally dependent on its high supplement content, convenience and effortlessness of developing it. The United Nations (UN) proclaimed 2013 the International Year of Quinoa, because of its high supplement worth and potential to add to food security around the world. 4. Quinoa is a consumable seed that has gotten progressively well known among well-being cognizant individuals. It's stacked with numerous significant supplements. 2. Contains the plant compounds quercetin and camphorol. The well-being impacts of genuine nourishments go past the nutrients and minerals with which you might be recognizable. There are a large number of follow supplements, some of which are amazingly solid. This incorporates plant cell reinforcements called flavonoids, which have been appeared to bring to the table different medical advantages. 2 flavonoids that have been especially all-around contemplated are quercetin and camphorol, both found in high sums in quinoa. Truth be told, the quercetin substance of quinoa is significantly higher than in normal high quercetin nourishments like cranberries. These significant particles have been appeared to have calming, hostile to viral, against disease and energizer impacts in creature contemplates. By incorporating quinoa in your eating regimen, you will essentially build your complete admission of these and other significant supplements. Quinoa contains a lot of flavonoids, including quercetin and camphorol. These are strong plant cell reinforcements with various medical advantages. 3. Exceptionally high in fiber, much higher than most grains. Another significant advantage of quinoa is its high fiber content. One examination that took a gander at 4 assortments of quinoa found a scope of 10 to 16 grams of fiber for each every 100 grams. This equivalents 17 to 27 grams for each cup, which is exceptionally high, more than twice as high as most grains. Bubbled quinoa contains considerably less fiber, gram for gram, since it ingests so much water. Shockingly, the greater part of the fiber is insoluble, which doesn't seem to have a similar medical advantages as dissolvable fiber. That being stated, the dissolvable fiber content in quinoa is still very nice, with about 2.5 grams per cup or 1.5 grams per 100 grams. Various examinations show that dissolvable fiber can help diminish glucose levels, lower cholesterol, increment totality and help with weight reduction. Quinoa is a lot higher in fiber than most grains. One investigation discovered 17 to 27 grams of fiber for each cup 185 grams. The majority of the fiber is insoluble, however 1 cup of quinoa still contains 2.5 grams of insoluble fiber. 4. Gluten-free and perfect for people with gluten intolerance. As per a 2013 study, around 33% of individuals in the US are attempting to limit or keep away from gluten. A without gluten diet can be solid, as long as it depends on nourishments that are normally without gluten. Issues emerge when individuals eat without gluten nourishments made with refined starches. These nourishments are no better than their gluten-containing partners, as without gluten lousy nourishment is still low-quality nourishment. Numerous specialists have been taking a gander at quinoa as a reasonable fixing in without gluten consumes less calories for individuals who would prefer not to surrender staples like bread and pasta. Studies have indicated that utilizing quinoa rather than regular without gluten fixings like refined custard, potato, corn and rice flour can significantly build the supplement and cell reinforcement estimation of your eating regimen. Quinoa is normally sans gluten. Utilizing it rather than normal sans gluten fixings can build the cell reinforcement and supplement estimation of your eating routine when you're evading gluten. 5. High in protein, with all the essential amino acids. Protein is made of amino acids, 9 of which are called basic, as your body can't create them and necessities to acquire them through your eating regimen. On the off chance that a food contains each of the 9 fundamental amino acids, it's alluded to as a total protein. The issue is that many plant nourishments are insufficient in certain fundamental amino acids, for example, lysine. Notwithstanding, quinoa is an exemption to this, since it contains adequate measures of the apparent multitude of basic amino acids. Consequently, it's an astounding wellspring of protein. It has both more and preferable protein over most grains. With 8 grams of value protein per cup, 185 grams, quinoa is an amazing plant-based protein hotspot for veggie lovers and vegetarians. Quinoa is high in protein contrasted with most plant nourishments. It additionally contains all the basic amino acids that you need, making it a phenomenal protein hotspot for veggie lovers and vegetarians. Point 6. Has a low glycemic index, which is good for blood sugar control. The glycemic record is a proportion of how rapidly nourishments raise your glucose levels. Eating nourishments that are high on the glycemic record can animate craving and add to corpulence. UCH nourishments have additionally been connected to a significant number of the normal, constant, Western sicknesses like sort 2 diabetes and coronary illness. Quinoa has a glycemic record of 53, which is viewed as low. Nonetheless, it's critical to remember that it's still genuinely high in carbs. In this way, it is anything but a decent decision in case you're following a low-carb diet. The glycemic record of quinoa is around 53, which is viewed as low. Be that as it may, it's still generally high in carbs. 7. High in important minerals like iron and magnesium. Numerous individuals don't get enough of certain significant supplements. This is especially valid for certain minerals, particularly magnesium, potassium, zinc and, for ladies, iron. Quinoa is high in every one of the 4 minerals, especially magnesium, with 1 cup 185 grams giving about 30% of the RDA. The issue is that it likewise contains a substance called phytic corrosive, which can tie these minerals and diminish their assimilation. Be that as it may, by splashing or potentially growing the quinoa preceding cooking, you can diminish the phytic corrosive substance and make these minerals more bioavailable. Quinoa is likewise truly high in oxalates, which diminish the ingestion of calcium and can mess up specific people with repeating kidney stones. Quinoa is exceptionally high in minerals, yet its phytic corrosive can somewhat keep them from being ingested. Dousing or growing corrupts the majority of the phytic corrosive. 8. Affects metabolic health. Given its high useful supplement content, it bodes well that quinoa could improve metabolic well-being. Until now, 2 examinations, in people and rodents individually, inspected the impacts of quinoa on metabolic well-being. The human-based investigation found that utilizing quinoa rather than normal sans gluten breads and pastas fundamentally diminished glucose, insulin and fatty oil levels. Exploration in rodents indicated that adding quinoa to an eating regimen high in fructose totally repressed the negative impacts of fructose. In any case, more exploration is expected to completely comprehend the impacts of quinoa on metabolic well-being. 2 examinations, in people and rodents individually, show that quinoa can improve metabolic well-being, by lessening glucose, insulin and fatty substance levels. Notwithstanding, more exploration is required. 9. High in antioxidants. Quinoa is high in cell reinforcements, which are substances that kill free radicals and are accepted to help battle maturing and numerous infections. One examination, exploring cancer prevention agent levels in 5 grains, 3 pseudo-oats and 2 vegetables found that quinoa had the most noteworthy cell reinforcement substance of each of the 10 nourishments. Permitting the seeds to grow appears to build the cancer prevention agent content much further. Quinoa seems, by all accounts, to be high in cell reinforcements. Growing builds their cell reinforcement levels much further. 10. May help you lose weight. In order to lose weight, you need to take in fewer calories than you burn. Certain food properties can promote weight loss, either by boosting metabolism or reducing appetite. Interestingly, quinoa has several such properties. It's high in protein, which can both increase metabolism and reduce appetite significantly. The high amount of fiber may increase feelings of fullness, making you eat fewer calories overall. The fact that quinoa has a low glycemic index is another important feature, as choosing such foods has been linked to reduced calorie intake. Although there is currently no study that looks at the effects of quinoa on body weight, it seems intuitive that it could be a useful part of a healthy weight loss diet. Quinoa is high in fiber, protein and has a low glycemic index. These properties have all been linked to weight loss and improved health. 11. Easy to incorporate into your diet. While not directly a health benefit, the fact that quinoa is very easy to incorporate into your diet is nonetheless important. It's also tasty and goes well with many foods. Depending on the type of quinoa, it can be important to rinse it with water prior to cooking to get rid of saponins, which are found on the outer layer and can have a bitter flavor. However, some brands have already been rinsed, making this step unnecessary. You can buy quinoa in most health food stores and many supermarkets. It can be ready to eat in as little as 15 to 20 minutes. Put 2 cups 240 milliliters of water in a pot, turn up the heat. Add 1 cup 170 grams of raw quinoa, with a dash of salt. Boil for 15 to 20 minutes. Enjoy. It should now have absorbed most of the water and gotten a fluffy look. If done right, it should have a mild, nutty flavor and a satisfying crunch. You can easily find many healthy and diverse recipes for quinoa online, including breakfast bowls, lunches and dinners. Rich in fiber, minerals, antioxidants and all 9 essential amino acids, quinoa is one of the healthiest and most nutritious foods on the planet. It may improve your blood sugar and cholesterol levels and even aid weight loss. What's more, it's naturally gluten-free, delicious, versatile and incredibly easy to prepare. Thanks for watching.